when I'm doing TV and I got 18, God damn it, can't everybody stop for 10 minutes? I mean, everybody seems that's the only, everybody can we stick, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's not that much to ask. Is that when everybody has to move when I'm trying to concentrate?
Hey, somebody has run out on the field. Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs at the 50. He runs at the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms, bare-chested. Somebody stop that man.
Here comes the blue coat.
Oh, they got him.
Here comes
They're coming
the blue
from the
coats.
left. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
Sorry to explode like that, but it's like no one's ever worked on TV here before.
That was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
Welcome to the ENFLP, the Egyptian NFL podcast. My name is Muzzy. Today we're going to be talking about two divisions, the NFC South and the AFC South. We have just wrapped up the second week of the NFL preseason. The third week is rolling in. We're starting to see some competition battles between positions in certain teams. People are fighting for jobs, fighting for their future.
بس أنا الويك ده شفت highlights بس ما شفتش games. Last week we watched like a few games.
Right, this week we didn't really watch a lot of games.
Yeah, but the highlights...
It's the thing about preseason, how much attention you want to put into the preseason. I don't care as much about the games and what happens in the results and everything else. I want to see what rookies are doing. I want to see what new players and new teams are doing, but there's so many details that are happening throughout each snap. You're looking at individual battles, who's doing their job here and there. It's like it's not very engaging for me as a viewer,
ما يعني عامله زي الفريندليز في الكوره يعني.
Exactly.
مش مشكله فريق خسر كل الفريندليز بتاعته مش خلاص مش ازمه يعني. المباراه وديه يعني.
Exactly.
مش مهتم يعني.
It's mostly more for the coaches and for the general managers to try to put the pieces together for their players, try to make sure that they have a 53-man roster. Because every week they're cutting players. Picking up players from other teams. They're making sure they have the right system in place for the regular season. But yeah, we're 2 weeks away from the regular season, man. It's exciting.
2 weeks?
2 weeks away.
أنا كنت فاكر الموضوع ده شوية.
Yeah, well, technically 3, but you have 2 more preseason weeks until we hit the first week of the NFL season.
Okay.
Exciting times.
وبالذات البري سيزون يعني بس ايه بقى يعني كده الاودز بقى بتاعت الباتنج بتفرق على البري سيزون.
What are you talking about?
لا انا بسأل ما اعرفش.
What odds about betting?
عشان مثلا البراونز كسبوا جيمين في البري سيزون كده بقى يعني
You need to get this Browns fascination that you have on the side. We talked about the Browns last time. We're not going to talk about them this time. All right, I know you're a Browns fan now, but we're going to move on from the Browns.
فاكر زمان كنت بحب الجاكورز.
Yeah.
اي اندر دوج انا داس عليه.
Well, maybe the Browns will make you happy and they'll win some games.
Maybe 16 I know this.
All right, let's start off with the AFC South division. There are 4 teams in the AFC South division. We got the Tennessee Titans, the Indianapolis Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and of course, the Houston Texans. All right. This AFC South division last year.
احنا في حته قطعناها مصطفى نسي يتكلم عن التكسنز بس بتكسف.
I had a bit of brain freeze. All right, let's talk about the Houston Texans. We got J.J. Watt, who's coming back.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
That is exciting. They won the division last year.
They won the division. The defense won the division. They had the best defense without J.J. Watt.
Yes.
يعني تخيل بقى J.J. Watt يرجع.
They literally had the number 1 defense.
Number 1 defense. ما حدش يعني لا بس كان عندهم اوزواير في الاوفنس يعني الموضوع كان
right.
يعني بس مش عارف السنه دي هيوستن تكساس هيعمل ايه بس احنا هنتكلم عن مين دلوقتي.
The Houston Texans, they just picked up Deshaun Watson.
They picked him up يعني استثمروا كتير فشخ في الكيو بي بوزيشن يعني they traded Osweiler to the Browns draft pick يعني first round pick وخدوا لعيب. انا مش فاهم يعني ده انتوا مش عايزينه فشخ مش عايزينه خالص يعني امسكوا اللعيب ده والدرافت.
Yeah, they didn't want him. They had a lot of money, but I think that was the right way for them to go. And also, they picked up Deshaun Watson.
They
in the
picked
draft,
him
which
up,
is exciting.
but يعني they spend a lot of money on him.
Deshaun Watson.
They spend a lot
All right,
of
but
picks.
in the 2 weeks that we've seen of him so far in the preseason, he looks pretty legitimate.
قشطة شكله كويس.
Yeah.
بس احسن مثلا من كايزر مثلا، احسن من ماهومز، احسن من يعني
Possibly, yeah, maybe.
ممكن.
Yeah,
بس
it could be.
يعني انا شايف بريشر كتير على فيرست راوند بيك، يعني بعد على كيو بي، على روكي كيو بي.
Yeah.
يعني انت جايبه، انا I wasted 2 first round picks عليك،
Right.
و I traded away a player.
Well, he might not necessarily start. Tom Savage is their
Savage
back.
هيبدأ.
You never know. Savage might start. I like him, and I think the Texans like him, and Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins, the receiver, was talking about how he likes him as well.
Yeah.
So maybe Savage will start this season, and worst comes to worst, they might start Deshaun Watson. But I think they're in a really good situation. Their quarterback position way more than they were last year.
قشطة.
Better position than they were
يعني
last year.
hopefully like Watson is still a rookie.
Yeah.
ما تعرفش هيعمل ايه. بس يعني قشطة like I feel like their defense is gonna be solid. بس الاوفنس مش شايف اي drastic change.
Well, I feel like they were missing a quarterback, and they got it. And they had Lamar Miller last year, who was a top 10 running back.
لا ميلر جامد.
And they drafted Deontay Foreman out of Texas, and this running back in preseason so far has been wowing people, breaking tackles right, left. He looks so smooth. So I'm not very worried about the Houston Texans this year.
يكسبوا الديفيجن احتمال كبير.
Yeah, very big possibility. Let's talk about another team that could win this division, which I really like, and I've been liking for a couple of years now. The Tennessee Titans. Now, the Tennessee Titans, for me, I feel like they're on the brink of greatness. You know, they're about to be really good. Offensively, Marcus Mariota. Solid
Mariota is أنا شايفه هو مستقبل.
Yes, and then you have DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry, who together had over 1,500 rushing yards, almost 1,700 rushing yards combined.
هو ديماركو ماري كمان أعتقد بدأ السيزون like on
Yeah,
roll.
he's
يعني
third overall running back last year.
and يعني هو بص he يعني phased out
Right.
في آخر السيزون اللي فات، بس he started the season on fire. يعني.
I feel like he's third overall. He didn't phase out. What are you talking about phased out? He's third overall all season.
لو بصيت على الستاتس بتاعته هتلاقي الجيمز اللي في الآخر السيزون أقل من الأول.
All right, I'll go with your word. But the Tennessee Titans are really exciting for me. They drafted a wide receiver really early on in the first round. Corey Davis, which should fix the problems that Mariota had where he didn't have a lot of options throwing the ball. So I'm excited for them. They had the 30th worst passing defense last year. And that was the problem, was in their defense. But they drafted Adoree Jackson and Quincy Wilson. So they have 2 rookie cornerbacks. I don't know if that's going to fix it. Maybe it's like a 3-year, 2-year plan. But I like the direction Tennessee Titans are going with, and I'm very optimistic about them. Do you agree?
لا I'm optimistic. يعني هم they drafted like a wide receiver
and 2
top 4
cornerbacks.
like the رابع yeah. So but والسنة اللي فاتت كانوا كويسين.
Yeah.
They were good but until
They
Mariota
just missed on the playoffs.
Mariota got injured at the
Yeah.
end then. But did they have a backup for Mariota طيب? They have a good backup. They draft a QB يعني.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Without him, without him it's a problem.
Without him the team is like 40% off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the next team, the Indianapolis Colts, who we both agree on as a team that nothing really is happening for them, and we don't really see them going anywhere. We don't see a direction. We don't see an upward climb for the Indianapolis Colts. They do have Andrew Luck and they do have T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Hilton and that's it.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton was number one receiver last year. Crazy, most receiving yards.
But he scored only 6 touchdowns. Though.
Yeah, well, you had Andrew Luck, who goes injured, and he's still injured till now. We don't really know when he's going to come back. They have the 37th worst passing defense, the 25th worst rushing defense, the 30th overall worst. Their defense is just nowhere to be found. They did draft Malik Hooker, though, who's very exciting. That is you can build a defense around him, but I still don't think they're going to go
Malik Hooker
anywhere.
is a safety.
Yeah. You can build a defense around him, and you can build a secondary around him, but he's not gonna.
بص انا مش بقالي كتير بتفرج على امريكا او ما عنديش نفس النولج اللي عندك في امريكان فوتبول بس بحس you build defenses not around safeties ولا
No, against a big ball hawking safety who can cause like interceptions, you know, and make sure like prevent big plays down the field, you can build defense around that. But obviously everyone knows as long as you can pressure the quarterback, you'll be fine. You got to pressure the quarterback, you got to protect against deep plays. So we'll see. But I like Malik Hooker and I like what he's done in college at Ohio State. So I'm optimistic about him, but not optimistic about the team necessarily.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the next team, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars, man.
Your favorite team next to the Browns.
Next to the Browns. Like بص انا بحب الفرق التعبانه يعني انا زملكاوي. فمتعود يعني بحب الفرق اللي بتخسر كده يعني اللي هو ما بحبش اشجع البيتريتس يعني ستيلرز مش عارف يعني فاهم اشجع الجاكورز اشجع براونز اشجع الفرق اللي هي بتخيب ظنك دي على طول.
Be a fan of a team you can grow up with.
بالظبط كده.
Exactly.
الفريق اللي على طول عندك امل انه يعمل حاجه السنه دي بس احتمال كتير مش هيعملها.
And what is the one reason that the Jacksonville Jaguars will not make it this year?
الQB
their quarterback situation.
بص الكوارترباك سيتويشن عندهم غريب مع ان انا كنت بحبه. يعني من سنتين انا كنت بحبه.
I like him honestly. And I don't think
لا انت ما بتحبوش انت من 10 دقايق بالظبط كنت بتقول لي تعال نجيب كابرنيك يبدا بداله.
Yeah, because Kaepernick should like more than a lot of teams he should be the starter. But Blake Bortles, he had the potential coming out of college. This guy, they used to compare him to Ben Roethlisberger. He had the size, he had the speed, he had the arm.
He was drafted first round pick.
Yeah, first round pick. The problem with the Jaguars is they've never been able to develop a quarterback. But they do have Doug Marrone there as their head coach, and he is a very good offensive mind. So, but Blake Bortles isn't doing well. He's not doing well in training camp. He's not doing well in the preseason. So,
يعني to the extent like when we were talking about Kaepernick, to the extent that يعني ايه بيفكروا يساينوا كابرنيك يلعب بداله. يعني if they sign Kaepernick he's not a backup, he's a starter. فالموضوع برضو غريب شوية بس شغال يعني.
That defense though man. The Jaguars defense.
6 overall defense. ما حدش يعني انا بالنسبة لي لو ما بصيت على الستاتس ايه ده يعني فاهم
It's amazing.
وغير كده جملوا الديفنس السنه دي. يعني لا الديفنس بتاعهم I think they're gonna be like top 5 defense.
They got Calais Campbell, which is very exciting. This guy's an all-pro defensive lineman, massive, 6'7", and they have all the pieces on their defense. They have all of them.
What's the name of the cornerback that
Jalen Ramsey?
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey had a fantastic rookie year last year.
And he's like he's outspoken كمان يعني.
Yeah, he's very outspoken.
يعني انت كنت السنة اللي فاتت.
I mean, you had a fight with Steve Smith.
Yeah.
You don't fight with Steve Smith. You
don't fight a legend, yeah.
You don't fight a legend. But no, Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. That was I was just gonna say Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette.
أنا يعني متحمس فشخ. Leonard Fournette is a beast.
He is
a beast. مع Chris Ivory. يعني they're gonna have a running game.
Chris Ivory and Leonard Fournette. If you can run the ball more than you pass the ball, they should be fine with Blake Bortles as their quarterback. If you can make Chris Ivory and Leonard Fournette have about 15 carries a game to 20 carries a game, both of them averaging like 4 yards a carry, you don't need a lot from Blake Bortles. You just need him not to turn over the ball. And with that defense, I mean, on paper, you could do something.
Do they need a third running back? Because Yeldon got injured.
You need a third down back. You definitely need a third down back. Someone who can create some plays in space. Leonard Fournette, so far, we really haven't seen a lot from him in preseason.
بس بيتكلم كتير برضه. يعني بقول لك ايه NFL ده ما طلعش صعب زي ما انا فاكر ده الناس مكبره الموضوع وبتاع.
Like he's been doing all right. But we haven't seen the big plays that we saw from him in college. But I think with time we will. I'm optimistic.
لا Leonard Fournette is a beast.
Definitely.
الواد ده ما بيغلطش.
So in this division, who'd you got?
Titans.
You got the Titans winning this division?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
لا السنة اللي فاتت يعني if Mariota's healthy لا السنة اللي فاتت خلاص يعني كانوا بيحضروا الموضوع ده.
Right.
يعني
So you think the Titans are going to be better than the Texans?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Man, I think the Texans are gonna sweep this division.
Sweep it.
Yeah, like they might not win all 6 games, but they'll win more than half of the games that they need to in this
بس
division.
الديفيجن مش سهل. عندك جاكوارز، تايتنز، كولتس، تكسنز. الديفيجن ده السنه اللي جايه يعني. بص الكولتس احنا الاثنين انا ما بحبهمش ومش مهتم، ولو يعني كولتس بيلعبوا جيم انا مش هتفرج عليه، مش هضيع وقت يعني. خلاص بدات اعجز. بس برضه هيكسبوا شويه ماتشات.
I don't know. I really see that. I don't think there's a better roster right now in this division than the Texans. I do see the Titans coming second, and I think the Jaguars, if they do run the ball more than they pass the ball, they might beat out the Colts.
Yeah, but it's gonna be very tight.
Yeah, very tight for third or very tight for first.
I think يعني even if the Houston Texans win the division, it's not gonna be like they're not gonna like dominate.
All right.
لا الموضوع مش هيبقى سيطرة قوي كده.
We'll see. Let's move on to the NFC South division, which I think is probably the most competitive division in the NFL right now.
أنا معاك.
Yes, I know the NFC East is there. We'll talk about them soon. But the NFC South right now has 4 teams, and any one of these teams could potentially win the division.
And I 100% agree.
Who knows what's going to happen with this? And it's like this every year in this division. We got 4 teams in the division. We got the New Orleans Saints. I mentioned them first. The Carolina Panthers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Atlanta Falcons. Now,
انت قلت Atlanta Falcons آخر تيم لسبب ولا هي جت
we'll find out. Let's talk about the Falcons. Let's talk about them. Maybe I said them last so we can transition into them first. The Atlanta Falcons.
انت بتحور فشخ.
The Atlanta Falcons lost in the Super Bowl. Now, I am a believer of the Super Bowl curse. Where when you lose in the Super Bowl, the next year you're gonna go downhill because.
بص احنا شفنا الموضوع ده السنة اللي فاتت مع بانثرز.
Yes.
يعني season abysmal يعني.
Yeah.
Nothing. ما عملوش أي حاجة.
Right.
season خرا.
Right. So what have you seen in the Falcons to make you think that they are not going to have a Super Bowl curse? And I'll tell you what I think I've seen that will say they have Super Bowl curse.
Falcons حسيتهم يعني they're more complete than the Panthers on this like the last year. Like when the Panthers made it to the Super Bowl, البانثرز كان عندهم كام نيوتن وهو اللي كان وصلهم للسوبر بول. يعني it was like هم كان زي باكرز السنة اللي فاتت مع Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Without Aaron Rodgers they weren't a team.
And they had a defense as well. And they had a defense as
Atlanta Falcons?
No, the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Yeah.
But Atlanta Falcons ما عندهمش defense.
They don't, which is so weird.
بس they signed a few players, they drafted a few players, يعني they're working on their defense. بس الاوفنس بتاعهم يعني شانهان مش their offensive coordinator راح بقى.
And that was why their offense was so amazing. Like it was his system. His system is the reason why his offense carried that team. When you have a 25th overall defense, you need to have one of the best offenses to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
You know?
بس they're talking about not changing the system. خلاص احنا السيستم بتاع شانهان كان نافع، احنا مش هنغير السيستم.
Right.
احنا نستخدم نفس السيستم.
Well, their new offensive coordinator used to be an alcoholic. So what do you say about that? Like I don't judge. I'm not judging.
انت
what I'm saying.
اديك قلتها used to be.
Yeah,
used to be an alcoholic.
Used to be an alcoholic.
خلاص.
What if he returns to his old ways?
بص بقى الكلام بقى.
And then the problems happen, and then Matt Ryan doesn't like in the system. You know, Julio Jones gets injured. Like it's written in the stars for them to fail. You know.
يعني بص only time can tell. But they signed Devonta Freeman on a massive contract. أكتر running back دلوقتي بياخد فلوس.
Until Devon Bell gets.
Until Devon Bell, but until that gets resolved. يعني أنا مين دلوقتي أكتر عليها فلوس؟ Freeman.
Devonta Freeman.
أنا بحبه فشخ.
He's awesome.
يعني السنة اللي فاتت he had an awesome season. بس كمان أحلى حاجة فيه إن هو he's sharing his rushing. He's sharing his yards, his carries with Coleman, who's really good. But they're not worrying about him right now عشان قدامه مثلا 3 سنين في الكونتراكت بتاعه، 2 3 في الكونتراكت بتاعه. they're keeping him. they're not gonna give him a new contract أو أي حاجة، مش خايفين منه until his contract.
They drafted McKinley,
the
defensive end, who came on the stage in the draft and started
and
throwing F-bombs everywhere because he was so excited about getting drafted and he was really emotional. That's another reason for me that they're going to go downhill because clearly they've lost control. And how can you come back from losing a game like you lost in the Super Bowl was probably the worst blow that you could possibly have in sports history. How can you come back from something like that? There's so many problems in their offseason. They had so many problems.
أنا شايف they won't have a Panthers relapse.
Look, if they can fix their defense and maintain their offense, all right. But mentally, are they going to be there? Mentally.
I think it's a team that's strong mentally. صراحة.
We'll find out.
We're gonna find out. اتكلم على السينس خلاص.
We'll move on to the New Orleans Saints, which I think are the reason why the Falcons are who they are. The Saints created the monster that is the Atlanta Falcons. All right, because the Saints offense has been a top 10, if not a top, no, has been a top 5 offense ever since Sean Payton has gone there. With Drew Brees being there, 6 out of 10 of the quarterbacks who have thrown 5,000 yards or more in a single season have been Drew Brees. 6 times he's done this.
درو بريز معلوش كلام.
6 times he's thrown over 5,000 yards.
درو بريز جامد فشخ. بس
their running backs. Mark Ingram
جامد
had 1,000 yards last year. They had Hightower last year who had over 500.
Hightower راح سان فرانسيسكو ها؟
Yeah, he went to San Francisco. But who'd you get to replace Hightower?
Peterson.
You got a Hall of Fame running back in Adrian Peterson. And then what'd you do after that? You had Alvin Kamara in the 3rd round. And look at him in the preseason. He's having an amazing preseason.
The preseasons don't matter.
Yes, preseasons don't matter. But that's where you see potential in players. We lost Brian Cooks, which is a bummer.
Yeah, but I think Thomas and Snead.
Thomas and Snead are there. Michael Thomas had 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns last year.
As a rookie.
Willie Snead had 804 touchdowns. You have 1,000 yards to make up from Brandon Cooks. But this offense creates Pro Bowl players everywhere. Whether or not they go to the Pro Bowl is another thing. But you look at the stats of this offense and it's tremendous. Defensively, it's a problem.
Defensively,
we have been one of the worst defenses in the league.
Bottom 5 defense.
Yeah, ever since our Super Bowl win, we've been terrible.
Ever since Sean Payton.
I don't know what to say about our defense, and I'm not going to, because every year we talk about, the Saints picked up defensive players. I'm not going to talk about it until I see it, because I don't believe it until I see it.
The Browns and
better defense than the Saints. You're probably right.
I'm 100% right.
Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who are going to challenge everyone in this division. They look like they have the strongest roster in this division.
I think they're going to win this division.
Why?
بص عايز اقول حاجه الاول. انا ما كنتش بحب الباكنيرز قوي. بعدين شفت حلقه من هارد نوكس.
Yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on HBO's Hard Knocks this year. You should check it out. It's pretty cool.
And Jameis Winston, quite
a personality.
Well, yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah,
he's a lovely guy.
Right.
يعني I want to be his friend. انا عايز تعالى نبقى اصحاب وبتاع.
Right.
وانت عبيط فشخ قاعد اتريق عليك. اشتغلك وبتاع. بس لا جامد فشخ. In my opinion, he's gonna improve. يعني his curve ما فيهوش هيطلع. He's what 24, 23, and he's a top 12 quarterback, 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns.
No, his best football is still ahead of him.
And he's athletic, crazy
and
athletic.
That play last year where he broke 6 tackles, didn't get sacked, and threw a bomb down the middle of the field.
بعدين عنده مين بقى؟ عنده Mike Evans, fourth overall wide receiver, just 24.
And they also picked up Deshaun Jackson,
man.
Which is pretty exciting. And O.J. Howard.
ما تسيبنا نتكلم طيب.
I'm sorry. It's really exciting.
Yeah, and they picked up O.J. Howard. Draft pick كان كام؟ العاشر 12 11 حاجة زي كده يعني. بس they're really optimistic about him and he looks great in preseason. He looks solid يعني.
Yeah, O.J. Howard was the 19th pick in the draft.
19th pick. بس كان في أي tight end who got drafted before him? He's the number 1 tight end.
Yep, he is.
In the draft.
He was supposed to be as well. He was projected to be as well.
Yeah, and then the one after him is what? Evan Ingram?
Yep.
Giants? Yeah, but in my opinion, he looks better than both. He seems like he's gonna be crazy good. He's a beast. Yeah, 100% يعني. المشكلة بقى في الديفنس عندهم.
Right.
we're running
Well, I think Jameis Winston put their defense in a lot of bad situations last year.
because like 18 interceptions.
Too many interceptions. They didn't really help out his defense.
running back situation, the running game. ايش انت بتقول Doug Martin بقى.
Doug Martin needs to up his game. You know, he has there was a while Doug Martin was projected to be a top 5 running back in the league. He has a bit of personal problems, but they're saying that he's back on track this year.
Yeah, Jacquizz Rodgers يعني can average. He's an average running back. Don't expect anything out of him. الموضوع مش فقشطة بس الفريق يعني offensively they have a good team.
Yeah.
Defensively last year they were 23rd overall. They sucked يعني
Right.
basically but more teams sucked يعني the Atlanta Falcons sucked more than them. But offensively they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
فأعتقد their offense is gonna carry their defense even if they didn't improve, which I think they will.
I think that's what they're aiming to do if their defense doesn't come up there. But they should. With Jared McCoy there in their offensive line, they shouldn't have any problem about that. All right, let's talk about the last team in this division, the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton's still injured. We don't know when he's going to come back. They're saying he has a shoulder injury. They're saying he's going to come back very soon. Should be this week, actually, that he comes back. We don't know what's actually going to happen with him this season. Is he going to be able to maintain himself? Is he going to be able to hold himself? He took a lot of big hits last year.
Yeah.
And his body's starting to feel it. Christian McCaffrey is pretty exciting. To team up with Jonathan Stewart, that's a pretty exciting 1-2 punch right there with that rushing game.
McCaffrey بس أنت ما بتحبش McCaffrey برضه.
No, I loved McCaffrey before he got drafted by the Carolina Panthers. Like, I was hoping the Saints would draft him. Or the Patriots would draft him.
You keep saying, he's a Reggie Bush.
Yeah, now I'm saying that because he's with the Panthers. Look, he's a small running back. In the division that he played in the conference that he played in college, the talent isn't really there.
Yeah.
Okay. So how is he going to translate in NFL? I was worried that he wasn't going to be able to run between the tackles. That he should be using him as a receiving back, as a slot receiver, as a third down back. But so far in preseason, he's been looking pretty good between the tackles.
Yeah. So from like the first round pick running backs, McCaffrey or Fournette is gonna have a better season.
Oh, it's a hard one.
Yeah,
that's a really hard one. I think McCaffrey's gonna have a better season.
بجد؟
Yeah.
يا راجل.
Just because of the system that he's playing in, I think they're gonna be able to use him better. But hopefully Fournette does.
I think Fournette is gonna have a 1,000-yard season.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Carolina Panthers, they can only go up from last year. Super Bowl hangover. They drafted a few players to help them out in their offensive line, their receiver position. Greg Olsen's still there. Benjamin's still there. We all know that Kuechly and Thomas Davis are still there. Their defensive line is still there.
Is Kuechly fading out?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Kuechly is not fading out?
Their problem is their secondary. If they can fix that secondary this season, going into the season, they'll be fine. If they still have problems in their passing defense, they're not going to go anywhere. This is a hard division, man. This is a super hard,
super
division.
exciting. يعني بس I'll choose the Bucks.
You're choosing the Buccaneers to come first?
Yeah?
No.
No?
Like, I cannot pick the Saints.
Yeah.
I cannot pick them. So I'm gonna put this on my back.
Yeah?
Put this on my back, and I'm gonna pick the New Orleans Saints to win the division.
Yeah?
Because where else am I gonna go? You know, I have to pick them. And I think the Falcons are gonna be dead last.
Yeah?
I think the Falcons are gonna be dead last. I think the Panthers will be third, the Bucks will be second, and maybe our Saints defense will pick up and they'll be first.
I think the Saints are gonna be last. Falcons third. Yeah, the Panthers and the Bucks are gonna make it.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You're gonna shake on that?
Yeah. Well, that has been our ENFLP episode. We have talked about the AFC South and the NFC South. We'll be back next time talking about 2 more divisions while week 3 of the preseason continues. This has been the ENFLP, the Egyptian NFL podcast. My name is Muzzy.
وأنا Abdo.
Enjoy week 3 of the preseason, or don't. Just watch the highlights.
Watch the highlights are in the watch them at work.
Yes.
One more, I got 69 touchdowns. You know what I mean. Only you know what I mean, baby.
Sorry to explode my guy, but it's like no one's ever worked on TV here before.
That was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.